Welcome to Little English Studio. Today, we're diving into the fascinating life of a man who quietly shaped the entire digital world we live in today. He wasn't a celebrity, he wasn't a businessman, but without him, your smartphone, the internet, Wi-Fi, digital photography, cryptography, and even the way we compress videos wouldn't exist. His name? Claude Shannon, the father of information theory. This is the story of a small-town boy who loved puzzles and gadgets, and who went on to change the way humanity communicates forever. Claude Elwood Shannon was born on April 30th, 1916, in the small town of Petoskey, Michigan, but grew up in Gaylord, a town of just a few thousand people. His father, Claude Sr., was a business owner who ran a furniture store and later became a judge. His mother, Mabel, was a school principal. They gave young Claude the freedom to explore his interests, even if it meant taking apart radios or building strange contraptions in the backyard. From an early age, Claude showed an unusual curiosity for how things worked. At the age of 5, he was already fixing household gadgets. At 12, he built a telegraph system between his house and a friend's home, using barbed wire as the transmission line. He wasn't just a book-smart kid, he was a maker, an inventor, and a problem solver. Claude had two childhood heroes, Thomas Edison, the great American inventor, Mickey Mouse, the mischievous cartoon character. These two figures reflected both sides of Shannon's personality. The serious innovator who could spend days solving technical challenges, and the playful prankster who loved humor and games. It's no surprise that later in life, Shannon would be both a world-class mathematician and a man who rode a unicycle down the halls of Bell Labs while juggling. At Gaylord High School, Shannon excelled in mathematics and science, but showed little interest in subjects like history or literature. He was the kind of student who could take apart the school's radio transmitter and put it back together, better than before. He also worked as a messenger for Western Union, delivering telegrams around town. This early exposure to communication systems would stick with him, even though he didn't yet realize it. In 1932, Shannon enrolled at the University of Michigan to study electrical engineering and mathematics, a rare combination at the time. There, he discovered the work of George Boole, a 19th-century mathematician who had developed Boolean algebra, a system where all logic problems can be expressed using only true, false, 1-0 values. For most people, Boolean algebra was an abstract mathematical curiosity. For Shannon, it was a light bulb moment. He realized that the on-off state of electrical circuits could be represented exactly the same way as Boolean logic. In other words, electric switches could do logic. After graduating in 1936, Shannon earned a scholarship to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where he worked as a research assistant on the differential analyzer, a massive mechanical computer designed by Vannevar Bush. Working on this machine, Shannon saw firsthand how incredibly complex it was to wire and rewire the thousands of circuits needed to make it perform new calculations. That's when his earlier idea clicked into place. Instead of manually wiring circuits, you could design them mathematically using Boolean algebra, creating a blueprint for any logical operation. This insight became his 1937 master's thesis, a symbolic analysis of relay and switching circuits, a paper so influential that it has been called possibly the most important master's thesis ever written. It was the first time anyone had shown that electrical engineering and mathematical logic could be combined into a unified theory, essentially inventing digital circuit design. Today, every computer, smartphone, and microchip is built on this principle. In 1940, Shannon earned his PhD in mathematics. But soon after, World War II changed the course of his career. He joined Bell Telephone Laboratories, better known as Bell Labs, where he worked on cryptography, code breaking, and secure communication for the U.S. military. One of his key wartime contributions was developing a mathematical theory of unbreakable ciphers, known as the one-time pad, which remains the only theoretically unbreakable encryption system. But in his spare time, he was also working on something even bigger, a theory that would explain how all information could be measured, transmitted, and preserved. In 1948, Shannon published his landmark paper, A mathematical theory of communication. This wasn't just an engineering guide, it was a new science, the science of information itself. Shannon's ideas included information could be measured in discrete units, which he called bits, binary digits, ones and zeros. Every message, no matter how complex, text, images, sound, could be represented as a sequence of bits. Noise could corrupt messages, but with proper encoding, errors could be detected and corrected. There was a mathematical limit to how much information could be transmitted over a channel without errors, the channel capacity. This paper became the foundation for digital communication, data compression, error correction, and modern computing. If you've ever sent an email, streamed a movie, or used the internet, you've used Shannon's theories. Shannon's brilliance was matched by his playful spirit. At Bell Labs, he built a mechanical mouse named Theseus that could navigate a maze, a juggling robot, a flame-throwing trumpet, a unicycle that he rode through the corridors, a machine that could solve a Rubik's Cube. He also loved juggling, chess, and card tricks, and often applied mathematical principles to improve his performance in these hobbies. For Shannon, play was not separate from work, it was a vital part of creativity. In the 1950s and 1960s, Shannon became a professor at MIT, continuing his research and inspiring generations of students. He influenced fields far beyond engineering, from genetics to linguistics to artificial intelligence. In AI, he built some of the first chess-playing machines and speculated about the future of machine learning decades before it became mainstream. His work on information entropy even influenced biology, providing insights into DNA as an information-carrying system. Shannon received countless awards, including the National Medal of Science, the Kyoto Prize, the IEEE Medal of Honor, the Albert Medal from the Institute of Electrical Engineers. But he remained humble, preferring to tinker in his workshop rather than seek the spotlight. In the 1980s and 1990s, Shannon began to suffer from Alzheimer's disease, which gradually took away his extraordinary mind. He spent his final years in a nursing home, cared for by his family, and passed away on February 24, 2001, at the age of 84. Claude Shannon didn't just invent a technology, he invented a framework for thinking about information itself. Every text message, every phone call, every Google search, all of it traces back to his theories. He is remembered not only as the father of the information age, but also as a man who proved that deep thinking and playful creativity can coexist. Thank you for watching this journey through the life of Claude Shannon. From small-town tinkerer to the architect of the digital world, his story reminds us that curiosity and imagination can change everything. Subscribe to Little English Studio for more inspiring life stories. Like, share, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a tale of extraordinary genius. Who should we explore next? Leave your suggestion in the comments.